If you want to master your day, first master your morning. And if you want to master your morning, then master your mind. Let me tell you a secret. Greatness is not built in the grand moments of glory. It is built quietly, persistently, and faithfully in the moments when no one is watching, especially the moment when you first open your eyes. Before you pick up your phone, before the world floods your mind with its noise, there is a window, and in that window, your mind is listening, not to the world, but to you. What will you say to it? Thoughts become reality. Begin each day with command over your mind. The world you see outside is nothing more than a reflection of the world you carry within. Every action you take, every word you speak, and every choice you make is first born in the chambers of your own mind. Before a skyscraper rises, it begins as a sketch. Before a masterpiece is painted, it begins as a vision. And before any great life is lived, it begins with a thought. The tragedy is most people wake up each morning and surrender this sacred instrument, the mind, to the chaos of the world. They open their eyes, and instead of directing their thoughts, they receive them. Instead of choosing their focus, they allow it to be hijacked by noise, by fear, by distraction. But the man who succeeds in this life, the one who bends the world to his will, understands that his mind is not a cage. It is a workshop. It is not meant to be filled with worries. It is meant to be filled with plans. And if he does not seize control of it the moment he wakes up, someone else will. Society will fill it with limitation. Doubt will fill it with hesitation. Yesterday's failures will fill it with fear. That's why the beginning of each day is not a routine. It is a ritual, a moment to sit at the head of the table in your own mind and give it direction. When you speak a thought with clarity, with faith, and with repetition, it takes root. The subconscious mind does not judge, it does not reason, it obeys. It accepts what is spoken with conviction and then sets out to prove it true. If you tell yourself, I am overwhelmed, I am lost, I am stuck, your subconscious will begin to look for ways to confirm it. But if you rise and say, I am in control of my mind, and therefore my results, you awaken a different kind of power. You give your mind the map, and it begins to find the way. And understand, this is not about blind positivity. This is not about ignoring pain or pretending everything is perfect. It is about reclaiming your role as the architect of your life. It is about standing at the gates of your own mind each morning and deciding what enters and what does not. Your thoughts are not harmless. They are builders, and each one is laying bricks in the house you will one day live in. So if you begin each day in mental chaos, you will build a life of disorder. But if you begin each day by commanding your thoughts, by choosing your focus, by deciding who you are and what you will become, then your life will rise with the same intentions. Self-talk is self-programming. Your words carve the path of your destiny. Every word you speak to yourself in the silence of your own mind is a command. It is not idle noise nor harmless chatter. It is a tool of creation, sharper than any blade, more powerful than any storm. The most dangerous conversation you will ever have is the one you have with yourself, and the most empowering one, too. For it is in that quiet, unseen dialogue where the course of your life is being written. Every morning, the world waits for your direction, and what you say to yourself in those first moments either sets you on a path of power or casts you into a loop of mediocrity. Too many people speak defeat into themselves before the day has even begun. I'm tired, I'm behind, I don't know if I can do it. These are not just thoughts. They are seeds, and the soil of the mind does not judge whether a seed is good or bad. It simply grows what it is given. What you consistently say to yourself becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes how you act. Your self-talk molds your self-peasure, and your self-peasure becomes the ceiling of your performance. You cannot outperform the identity you've constructed in your mind. If your inner voice constantly whispers that you're not good enough, that you don't have what it takes, you will find a way to prove it right, even when the opportunity for greatness is staring you in the face. But if that same voice says, I am capable, I am focused, I am prepared for this moment, you will rise. You will push forward when others stop. You will persevere when others quit. Your words are the script of your life. Speak carelessly and you create confusion. Speak with purpose and you create progress. The key is not just to speak positively, but to speak powerfully, with intention, with clarity, with repetition so consistent that doubt has no room to breathe. Say it, even when you don't feel it yet, for the mind is shaped not by fleeting emotion, but by firm repetition. Every great achiever in history has understood this truth. They trained their minds the way warriors train their bodies. They didn't wait for confidence, they declared it. They didn't wait for belief, they built it, word by word. Because the moment you begin to speak with conviction, you stop being a victim of your environment and start becoming the author of your story. You must become vigilant with your inner language. You must catch the moments where you begin to slip, where fear begins to speak louder than truth, and replace those words with power. Because every time you speak strength over weakness, every time you declare purpose over fear, you shift the momentum of your life. You are not just talking to yourself, you are training yourself. You are programming the mind that will either lead you to greatness or hold you in limitation. Speak as if your future depends on it, because it does. Faith in oneself is the first secret to power. Declare your worth daily. There is no force more critical to success, more foundational to greatness than belief in oneself. Before any man or woman has built a fortune, before a dream has taken shape in the world, it has first found strength in the invisible fortress of self-faith. No one climbs mountains by accident. No one overcomes failure, rejection, resistance, or poverty without first carrying an unshakable sense that they are worthy of more. This belief, this faith in one's own potential is not a luxury. It is not optional. It is the soil from which all victory must grow. And yet the modern mind is under constant assault. From childhood we are trained to seek permission to speak, to act, to lead, to win. Slowly, silently, the world teaches us to doubt ourselves, to shrink, to conform. And unless we rebel against this conditioning every single day, we begin to live small lives, trapped not by walls, but by invisible chains of self-doubt. This is why you must speak your worth aloud every morning, not because the words alone have magic, but because they awaken the giant within. You are not reminding the world of your power, you are reminding yourself. Because until you do, the world will never believe it. No one will bet on you if you will not bet on yourself first. No opportunity will open its doors unless you knock with certainty. No challenge will break unless you face it with courage. The truth is, you already have within you the fire, the strength, the intelligence, the perseverance required to change your life completely. But these gifts lie dormant until you call them forward. Until you stand in front of the mirror, look yourself in the eye and say, not with arrogance, but with authority, I am enough, I am capable, I am worthy of the life I envision. These words are not lies, they're reminders. They are the truth beneath the layers of fear that time and failure have built. Every man who ever rose from nothing had to first say to himself, why not me? Every leader who ever turned a dream into reality had to battle the voice that said, you can't, and answer with, watch me. This is the war that is fought inside before anything is ever conquered outside, and it is fought daily. Believing in yourself is not a one-time event. It is a discipline, a commitment, a vow renewed each morning with words that are spoken not because you always feel strong, but because you have chosen to become strong. Your words shape your state shapes your actions, and your actions shape your destiny. So speak with boldness, declare your value, proclaim your strength, because the world may try to ignore you, but it cannot ignore the one who refuses to be silenced, especially when that voice begins from within. Gratitude fuels abundance. Start your day with appreciation. In a world driven by speed, comparison, and constant desire, it is easy to wake up each morning feeling behind on goals, behind on success, behind on life. The mind, if left unchecked, will immediately rush to what is missing, what isn't working, what hasn't arrived, what others seem to have that you do not. But this is the beginning of scarcity, and scarcity is the enemy of power. You cannot create from a place of lack. You cannot build when your mind is focused on what you don't have. That is why the man who wants abundance must start his day not with complaint, but with gratitude. Gratitude is not passive. It is not soft. It is not naive. It is one of the most potent disciplines of a powerful mind. It demands attention, presence, and clarity. It requires you to pause the noise of more, and acknowledge that right here, right now, you have enough to begin, because when you recognize what is already good, already strong, already working in your life, you shift your state, and when your state shifts, your decisions improve. Your energy elevates, your mind expands. That's when opportunity becomes visible. Most people believe that they'll feel grateful after they become successful, after the money arrives, after the breakthrough, after life is perfect. But the truth is, success follows gratitude, not the other way around, because gratitude unlocks your ability to receive. When you are grateful, you're not focused on limitation. You're tuned into possibility. You're no longer fighting life. You're working with it. You see clearly, move confidently, and act with faith instead of fear. Each morning, before the demands of the world rush in, take command of your mind by giving thanks, not just for what is obvious, but for what is often overlooked. Give thanks for your breath, your mind, your strength, your struggles. Yes, even the struggles. For they are not obstacles, they are training. They are preparing you. Gratitude for struggle turns pain into purpose. It transforms delays into lessons. It rewires your brain to seek meaning instead of misery. And gratitude compounds. The more you express it, the more you begin to see it. You notice what you used to ignore. You find value in things you once took for granted. Your entire lens on life shifts from what's lacking to what's possible. And from that place of appreciation, you become magnetic. You draw people, ideas, opportunities toward you, not because of magic, but because of presence. A grateful mind is focused, clear, and open. When you're open, you receive. Start your day by saying thank you. Say it until your mind believes it. Say it even if your situation feels far from ideal. Because when you speak gratitude, you're not denying your ambition. You're activating it. You're telling the world, I see what I have, and I'm ready for more. Gratitude is the signal. Abundance is the response. Intent shapes achievement. Remind yourself what you're building. Every result in life, whether great or small, is first born from intent. Nothing of value happens by accident. The builder must see the structure in his mind before the first stone is laid. The sculptor must envision the form before his chisel ever touches the marble. In the same way, your life, your future, will only rise to the level of your intention. Without a clear and driving sense of purpose, you'll drift. Days will pass. Weeks will vanish. Years will fade into the blur of activity without direction. But when you live with intent, when you remind yourself each morning what you are building, then every action, no matter how small, becomes a brick in your foundation. Intent is not just a goal. It is deeper than that. It is a commitment to live on purpose. It is a daily reminder that what you do matters because of what you're moving toward. When you wake up each day and repeat to yourself with clarity and certainty, this is who I am, this is what I am building, this is why I'm here, you begin to aim your mind like a weapon. You replace hesitation with urgency. You trade comfort for focus. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they forget their mission. They wake up and fall into reaction. They let the world set their tone, pull their attention, and steal their energy. They become busy, yes, but not effective. They confuse motion with progress. But the man who starts his day with intent is not just moving, he's moving with direction. His time has weight. His words have power. His decisions are made through the lens of purpose. He doesn't ask, do I feel like it today? He asks, will this bring me closer to what I said I would build? That shift in mindset changes everything. Because when intent is present, excuses fade. You no longer argue for your limitations. You no longer need to feel inspired every moment. You act not out of impulse, but out of alignment. And that is the secret, alignment. When your thoughts, words, and actions align with your deepest purpose, you become unstoppable. The days you feel tired, you still move. The days you face failure, you still show up because your vision isn't built on emotion, it's built on intention. So many people are searching for motivation when what they truly need is meaning. And meaning comes from clarity. Clarity about who they want to become. Clarity about what legacy they want to leave. Clarity about what matters most. That's why each morning is an opportunity to realign, to stop the noise, to tune out the world's expectations, and to tune into your own. You take even a few minutes to speak your intention aloud, to write it, to see it, to feel it. You light the fire of discipline. You no longer wait for life to give you direction. You give direction to your life. You must decide what kind of life you're building, not in vague terms, but with precision. Are you building freedom, strength, mastery, impact? Whatever it is, let it not just be a thought, but a declaration, a vow you renew every morning. And when distractions come, when hardship arises, when comfort calls you back, your intent will remind you of what matters most. It will pull you forward when everything else tries to pull you down. Intent is the blueprint. Your actions are the tools. Your discipline is the labor, and your life, your true life, is the result. So begin each day with that blueprint clear in your mind. Speak it. See it, build it, your future is listening. Speak to it with confidence and conviction. Every morning you rise, you are not just waking up to another day, you are stepping forward into your future. And the words you speak in those first quiet moments are not lost in the air. They are seeds cast forward, shaping what is yet to come. You may not see the results instantly, but the future is always listening. It listens to the tone of your voice, the certainty of your belief, the vision you hold in your heart, and like a mirror, it reflects back not just what you wish for, but what you declare with conviction. There is a difference between hoping and speaking with authority. Hope waits. When you speak to your future as if it's already on its way to meet you, you activate a hidden law. What you focus on expands, and what you speak with belief begins to take form. Too many people speak about their lives as though they are stuck, trapped in a loop of what was, rather than empowered creators of what will be. They describe their future with doubt, with fear, with hesitation, and then wonder why life gives them more of the same. But the man who understands the power of his voice knows this: words are not just descriptions, they are commands. He does not speak of lack, for he knows it multiplies. He does not rehearse his limitations, for he knows it strengthens their hold. Instead, he looks into the day ahead and says, "This is what I will become. This is what I will build. This is where I am going." And he says it not once, but daily. Repetition is the mother of belief, and belief is the architect of results, even when the evidence isn't there yet. Speak as if it is. Speak your future into reality, not from a place of fantasy, but from a place of alignment with your deepest purpose. The subconscious mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is vividly imagined with faith. When you speak to your future with clarity and strength, you begin to see pathways that were previously invisible. You tune your mind to the frequency of possibility, and you begin to attract what you once thought was out of reach. This is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing the narrative that empowers you to move. The story you tell yourself about tomorrow will influence how you act today. And how you act today creates what happens tomorrow. So speak to your future like a leader, not a victim. Speak with the boldness of someone who knows their vision is valid, their mission is meaningful, and their path is unfolding with purpose. Every day, you are either reinforcing a future you want or repeating a past you no longer need. So take the wheel. Speak your future into existence. Make it clear, make it bold, and above all, make it yours. Because the future is not only listening, it's waiting for your direction. Each morning is not just a beginning, it is a decision. A decision to take hold of your mind, your words, your vision, and your destiny. The man who rises with no direction is ruled by the world. But the one who begins each day with intention becomes ruler of his world. Speak to yourself, not as you are, but as you are becoming. Declare your strength, shape your mindset, claim your future. For what you repeat, you believe. What you believe, you act upon, and what you act upon, you become. This is not about motivation, it is about transformation. Not about noise, but alignment. You are not merely waking up to go through the motions. You are waking up to lead, to build, to evolve. And that begins with what you say to yourself when the world is still quiet. Those few moments, repeated day after day, are not small. They are the foundation, they are the spark, they are the daily ceremony of self-mastery.